So this video is going to be about telling the world your dark secrets. And this has been something that I've been trying to learn how to do myself, but also been getting inspired by music. And it's just something that, as we try to solve our problems as human beings and deal with our problems and vent them and, let them out, and being able to own up to our mistakes and try to make up for our mistakes and try to be better as human beings, right? As we go through this, growth, uh, I feel like as a human being, when you can build the courage to admit your mistakes, your flaws, and everything that you did wrong, and to try to do better, and being able to say hey, own up to it and be honest about it. That takes courage and strength, and it takes not a lot of people can do it. And I think a lot of people they have dark secrets. They have things that they know about themselves that they did, uh, memories or trauma or whatever it is that they're keeping to themselves, and they are not letting out. And maybe they don't even tell God, or they don't really try to tell anybody, not a therapist or a pastor or a preacher or anybody that could really try to help them or allow them to communicate it. And when you don't have that, and especially not to be sexist, but women deal with this too. This is a human problem. I'm not gonna actually say that. It can be, I will say that it can be a little masculine to not sit there and complain about your problems and talk about your problems all the time, okay? But it also can be masculine to say, hey, I screwed up, I admit it, I made a mistake, I'm not perfect, but I'm gonna do better, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do that, and this is how I'm gonna prevent that from happening again. And being able to do that, that I feel like that's more masculine than being able to suppress your problems, not talk about your problems, and not let them out, and procrastinate, and not procrastinate, but you can, but you know what I mean. Just I feel like being able to be open about your problems with the potential to be made fun of, teased, or laughed at, and judged is more masculine than just suppressing all that and not talking about it. So that's what I think. Okay. And so that last video that I made, that was me revealing something that I have kept to myself for over 10 years, or just about 10 years, or probably yeah, but I have kept that to myself. I have told a few people. Now, when I told people, I've said it and they heard it, and they some people said go see a therapist about that, or one person did say that. But some people, when you tell them something that you did that's kind of dark, and it is dark, but a lot of people don't know how to react, and they don't know what to say. And maybe you can inspire them by you opening up about your dark secrets. Maybe you can inspire other people to open up about their dark secrets. The thing is, though, I would tell other people about it, and I would tell them I don't know how to deal with this. And I would ask them, and I had one person tell me to go see a therapist, and I was like, I don't want to go see a therapist about this. I want to be able to learn how to deal with this on my own. And I had to learn to be able to talk to Jesus about it, and how I can ask him to help me understand it and learn from it and be better, And I had to do that. And then something else that I learned how to do is, if your dark secrets involve somebody that you've hurt, or multiple people that you've hurt, or traumatized, or anything, and you're scared to think about it because you are ashamed, or you regret what you did to that person, the person you cared about and loved, and you don't want to bring up those uncomfortable emotions again. But and you might be avoiding that person too, because they might remind you of what happened, or and avoiding the people around, like their family and friends, and people that are associated with those, like you can cut off childhood friends just because of certain events that happen, like kind of with me, like kind of, but and y'all just never talk anymore, and y'all used to be best of friends, and but it's just like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of people will benefit from opening up from, hey, I'm sorry what I did to you, and I want to try to make up for it. Being able to talk to God about it, and ask God for forgiveness, and then admit that you're not perfect, and then also the people that you've done wrong to, try to ask them for forgiveness, and then also on top of that, to be able to tell the world what you did wrong and ask the world for forgiveness. And I'm asking in this video, may the world please forgive me for what I've done, even though I know, like, I'm still trying to forgive myself, and I'm trying, and it's like, I understand. It's just like, it's there, and I'm still trying to learn from it. And I mean, it's still kind of uncomfortable to think about for me, because it's just, I don't want to think about it. And like, you have to understand that there are things that we do that we just don't want to think about, and we'd rather not think about. We just rather think about sunshine, rainbows, and all the awesome parts of life. And I get it, man. It's just like, but it's about being an adult, being mature, and being a better human. And so, yeah, and that's a way for me to deal with what I've done, is by talking about it and opening up about it. And by doing that, I can learn more from it. And maybe I can inspire people and teach people, and maybe I can help other people learn from me and my mistakes. You know what they say, smart people learn from their mistakes, wise people learn from the mistakes of others. So, yes, I want to help the audience feel less alone, and yes, I'm making this for fellow nerds, and fellow people who have biblical names like myself, like Christian, or any kind of biblical name. I feel like a lot of those groups of people will relate to me more. But this is what I'm saying is for everyone, and because every human being deals with problems, and they will deal with problems until the day they die. And like I said, I used to think, I used to be, because I would be so focused on trying to solve other people's problems, help people with their problems, that I would just ignore mine, and I wouldn't help myself. I would try to help other people put their gas mask on before I put my own gas mask on. And then I think I had to learn the hard lesson of, I got to help myself before I help other people. But I think somewhere I got selfish. Well, I don't think fully selfish, but pretty much, where I felt like I was only trying to help myself, and I was just focused on myself and trying to solve all my problems and deal with my problems, and kind of ignoring other people's problems, the problems of other people. And I think, like I said, you're gonna be dealing with problems. Every human will deal with problems until they die. And so, to be only focused on dealing with your problems is selfish. Because you could take a break. You could do both, right? You could take a break from your problems to stop and help other people with their problems. And by you doing that, and showing kindness, and being nice, not only will you make you feel better as a human being, but it might actually help you solve some of your own problems. So, not completely ignoring yourself and neglecting yourself, but being able to say, yes, I might be dealing with something, like, I don't know, like I'm getting a late paycheck, and I'm gonna get it like a few days late, and that's kind of put me behind because I need to get it, buy a few things or whatever. that could be upsetting me, but then there could be someone in front of me that their dog died and they want to talk to someone about their dog, and I'm over here, concerned about, man, my late paycheck, and what am I gonna do, to get some money to be able to make it the next few days, and they're dealing with their dog, and I can take a break from thinking about my late paycheck to be able to talk about that person's feelings, like let that person talk about their feelings with their dog and talk about their dog. And I feel like a lot of times I could be not that great of a listener, and because I want to try to offer solutions and just try to, just try to be quick to end the conversation, because I can get a little uncomfortable because I don't know what to say sometimes. And so it can be awkward, but I don't know, I still have to learn that too as a human being. Stop being so selfish and caring only about myself. I keep thinking about that car scene where the older blue car was talking to Lightning McQueen, and he was like, when was the last time you cared about somebody other than yourself? Because Lightning McQueen had this ego of this superstar, he's a racer, number one place, first place racer, whatever, championship. And when you have that kind of fame and fortune ego, the superstar, like everyone loves you kind of ego, sometimes you could just look past, not saying that everyone does this, but you can look past other people, and because you're just thinking about yourself sometimes. And like I said, I do that sometimes, and I still gotta work on it. I still need to learn how to do that, and learn how to think about other people and listen to other people and get to know other people. And I have to learn to be a people person. And it's just gonna take practice. It's gonna take me stepping out of my comfort zone. It's gonna take me trying to build the courage and strength to do that. And it's gonna take work, man. But you can help someone a lot with a conversation if you can be a decent listener and free of judgment. I feel like those two things help. Like I don't want to tell people how to socialize, but kind of that's what I'm doing. But that helps me. I feel like when you try to be a decent listener, not really trying to interrupt or, trying to get, the next thing to say, but like also not being quick to judge and, being free of judgment. I feel like that helps a lot of people when you can have a conversation with those two things. But yeah, I'm trying to think of what else I could say for the video, but the lesson of this video is try to open up about your problems with the people, with the world. First do it with God, and then do it with the people that are around you in your life, and the people that you might have problems with, and the people that you might have hurt in the past, and also the people that might have hurt you in the past, to try to offer them forgiveness. Even if they, might not really want to, but anyway. That's what I try to do, and I still gotta try to do it some more, but I feel like that helps. But being able to talk about the problems, talk about your problems as a human being, open up about them, and offer solutions. When you can build the courage to do that, to talk about it with God, and talk about it with the people around you and the people in your life, and then talk about it with the world, the strangers, it helps you with your character development. It helps you be better as a human being. It helps you feel better as a human being. It helps you become more happier, and makes you feel less alone. And like I was thinking of the Moon Knight scene where he was like, when we share our heartbreak, our loss, our pain, our joy, and all the collections of experiences and stories that we go through, we help ourselves feel less alone, but we help the audience feel less alone too. And so by doing that, and we can inspire other people to do the same thing. And so that's what I want to try to do. And I might do a terrible job at it, but I want to try my best. And